great day in America, where America celebrates 250 years as a nation. It also celebrates one thing that has made America brand new: the celebration and the embracing of different cultures, and that's been what's been the case at this 2026 World Cup. Americans embracing other nations, and other nations embracing America. And on this Independence Day weekend, we continue our World Cup coverage as we are now in the nitty-gritty, you might say. We started with 48. We had an electric round of 32. Now we're down to 16. Houston, Texas, the backdrop, where it's time to lift off into the last 16 between Canada and Morocco. Good afternoon, everybody, and happy America 250 to all of you. I'm Seth Eaves. Thank you so much for being the lineup on your screen there. It's Crapo, Maxime Crapo leading a 4-4-2 Canadian line in goal. Stephen Estacchio is the captain. Jonathan David, along with Olawusi in the attack. And then you see from Morocco, they're in a 4-2-3-1. The usual suspects there, including Hakimi, who captains the side, and Ismail Saibari, who just recently upped his ante after a great run at PSV. He's on his way to Bayern Munich, but he still has some unfinished business with the Atlas Lions. And the winner of this game moves on to the quarterfinals of the World Cup. As you see on your bracket, the winner of this one moves to the quarters and plays the winner of today's other game between Paraguay and France. We have one of the more respected officials in the game. England's Michael Oliver will be refereeing action today. Canadian fans, as you would imagine, in full song, ready to go. It's already been a historic World Cup for them. Now, they are ready to take it a step further, if you will, and continue this amazing ride with an American-born coach, Jesse Marsch. Morocco, though, ready to make another run, showing to the world that their exploits 4 years ago were not a fluke, not by any stretch of the imagination. It's Boston for the winners. Foxborough, technically, but Awabi and Marsch should be an interesting matchup as this World Cup continues on. These two teams met in the group stages in Qatar 4 years ago. A 2-1 win for the Rockin' Moroccans on that occasion. Let the games begin in the World Cup's version of the Sweet 16. Ball played out of play on the left-hand side. It will be Canada going from left to right in their black uniforms. Morocco the opposite direction, wearing all white today. And I believe there was an issue with the kickoff, so they're going to have to do it again. Now they do it again, well, now we get the round of 16 up and running. And Morocco with good defense there, trying to gain possession of the ball. And they do. Maybe a chance. No, the pass is going to go out of play. Canada, of course, already have set a record for the furthest they've ever been at a World Cup. Just the third time they've ever made it. Quick throw in though for Canada, and it's going to be back to the goalkeeper, Yassine Bono. Canada semifinalists at the Copa America a couple of years ago. They are two-time winners in the Gold Cup. But a disappointing world history. This is only the third time Canada have faced a nation from Africa at a World Cup finals. They're split in the first two, 1-1. Out of play for a throw-in to Canada. Seeger will take it. No, it's going to be Eustachio to take it. Eustachio, the hero, the national hero. His goal won the match for Canada late on. They beat South Africa in the round of 32 to get here, while Morocco knocked out the Netherlands on penalty kicks. There's Bombito with a touch. Long ball right-hand side. Now Mesraoui with the Morocco throw. Play it short in their own half. 7th World Cup appearance for Morocco. 3rd time they've been in the knockout round. Of course, the headliner, no doubt about it, that semi-final run in Qatar where they knocked out Spain and Portugal. 5th meeting all time, 2nd at a World Cup. Morocco with 3 wins and a draw in the previous 4. Winner again moves on to Boston on Thursday. Will be shipping up to Boston on Thursday. Play Paraguay or France. Nahi and the best in the past there, and Michael Oliver has whistled something. Morocco now regain possession inside of their own half. Go from there. Yeah. That win against Canada 4 years ago, one of only 2 times Morocco has ever played against a CONCACAF nation. The other was in this group stage when they beat Haiti 4-2. Nye picked off Eustachio. Now Canada trying to run. Eustachio, chip it left-hand side. Larea with it. Laria now, left-hand side. Can he do something with this? On the byline, couldn't keep it in. Is it going to be a corner or a goal kick? It's going to be a corner for Canada. So a Canadian corner right away. Four minutes in. Here's the corner, lifted in, and Bono punches. Little chip here. Oh, it's a really good headed forward. Can David get onto the end of it? He could, but angle was a bit tight. Very encouraging start, though, by Jesse Marsh's Canada. The save by Bono, who is proven himself to be one of the top shot stoppers at the World Cup. He was 4 years ago. He is again here. 35-year-old, plays for Al Hilal in the Saudi Pro League. Canada with a corner. And headed away. Go to the immediate danger. Seeger plays it in. And then Buchanan got challenged. That was a pretty big challenge there from Hahal there, but seemed to be a little bit late on it. It is another corner. Canada with a corner from the opposite end this time. Eustachio with this Canadian corner. Chips it in. Into the mixer it goes. Flicked in to Fogerles, heads it back. Bono had to punch. Now Ahmed. Now Eustachio. Back to the Fogerles and away by Saibari, who had to play as a defender. Lively first 6.5 minutes here. It was sliced away briefly by Morocco, but Canada won it back. Player down for Morocco. Morocco wants a foul or a stoppage or something. They get none of it. As Johnston was doing a challenge there over 9, but Yassine Bono is really making his efforts known early for 90 caps for his nations. Mohamed Alabi, 49-year-old, born in Schaerbeek, Belgium. The Morocco head coach was appointed as the national team coach just on the 5th of March. But he has kept Morocco going, and of course, that after the mess that was that AFCON final against Senegal, won't get into that too much, hopefully. Morocco, the first African team to advance in a knockout round at 2 different World Cups. Pass goes back to Bono here. Great crowd on hand today in Houston. Doubleheader day on USM. Later today, France, the team that's been in the final each of the last 2 tournaments, take on Paraguay. Goal kick. El Khanouche chases. It's going to be easy for Crépeau in the Canadian goal. Now David trying to chip it in. Can Buchanan give chase? It was actually Oluwasi who was after it. Didn't matter either way. He couldn't get there. As mentioned, the nation with the Maple Leaf on its flag is coached by a man from the land of the Stars and Stripes, the pride of Racine, Wisconsin, 52-year-old Jesse March, who has developed quite an international coaching, or quite the coaching background. Starting in MLS, he moved to RB Salzburg, the Austrian powerhouse, then off to Leipzig, and then to Leeds before taking this Canada job. There's a foul for Morocco. Foul against Canada. Okay. He speaks fluent German, does Marsh. He learned that at the age of 44. Proving that it's never too late to teach an old dog new tricks. Into the box, Canada. What a spin move! What a save by Bono! Still not 100% clear. Oluwasi making really good play right there. Still not all the way clear for Morocco. Here's Buchanan. Buchanan with a rough slide challenge. Boy, what a play there, though. As the flag is coming late on by Tani Oluwasi. He took the ball, did a little spin move, and got a really good shot away. But unfortunately for him, the foot of Yassine Bono denied the man who plays for Villarreal, and I'm going to always take this opportunity to say this. He plays for Villarreal, a club with one of the best nicknames in sports, the Yellow Submarine. He was born in Nigeria, played collegiately in America at St. John's. Now, here comes Morocco left-hand side. They tried to hit with a smash and grab, but Canada had the spaces covered. Big East Offensive Player of the Year in 2019. David. Stockio, good ball. The best touch there from Cannon. Now goes back to Stockio. David. Now back to Eustaquio, and it's cleared away. Gianni Infantino is in attendance. First round of 16 match. You figured he would be. Trying to get it through, but Morocco clear. Oh, that's very poor from Morocco. Stockio could be in. Too many white shirts in the way, though. I gotta say, I'm rather surprised that Canada's the one that's taking this to the front foot. You figured Morocco being the favorites, they would be the ones taking it, but not the case. Here's Alistair Johnston trying to whip a cross in, and it's not a very slice clearance. Stockio, he had room for a shot. He didn't take it. Went for the pass instead to David. David's pass then sliced away. Now Morocco trying to hit on the counter. Blocked away. Jesse March providing encouragement. It's Morocco holding possession inside of their own half. Now here is Mazraoui. Mazraoui. I been took a slice that went out of play as down goes Tajon Buchanan, another Villarreal man. Also played his collegiate soccer in the United States. Played for 2 years at Syracuse. Scored 12 goals at his time with the Orange, but he left early to sign a Generation Adidas contract ahead of the 2019 MLS Super Draft. New England Revolution took him. Shout out to Otto the Orange, then, who I'm sure is watching somewhere with bated breath. Here's Morocco on the right-hand side trying to play it, and immediately a stoppage as Morocco have a player down, out on the touchline, out of play, and that is the captain, Ashraf Hakimi, who's become a real stalwart, not just for his country, but of course his club, helping Paris Saint-Germain win the last 2 UEFA Champions League titles. They've won them in completely different ways. A blowout against Inter, and then a penalty shootout come from behind win against the English champions Arsenal. Oh, on the right-hand side, and this could be trouble, and Crapo has to boot the safety. Now it's El Kudus with a touch here for Morocco. Nye with it. And good passing here for Morocco. Get their own half. And referee has stopped play. Another challenge. And will this lead to a yellow card from Michael Oliver? I wonder. That's a bit of a rough one there. Michael Oliver, 41 years of age, from Ashington, Northumberland, England, about 15 miles north of Newcastle. He's come a long way from refereeing Northern Premier games back in 2003 when he started. Has refereed some pretty big matches. He's refereed three major English domestic finals: the 2016 League Cup final, 2018 FA Cup final, and the 2021 FA Cup final. Morocco trying to play in here, and then a delayed offside. Also, of course, center of controversy, that infamous 2018 Champions League quarterfinal between Real Madrid and Juventus. So he is a very, very experienced referee, as I mentioned. Canada back in possession. There's a long ball right hand side. Can Buchanan get there? Not quite. It is going to be a corner, though, for the Canadians. Can they make something of this corner? Let's see what will happen with this Canadian corner. Is Stockio to take it? Stockio with a little chip. Header. Morocco able to clear the line. Wasn't the best header in the world from Canada. Throw in. Canada have it just inside the attacking half. They're with it now. There to De Foglerles. Now Johnston. Now Bombito. Tried to play Stockio and couldn't. Morocco now win possession of that, then lost it again. Stockio with a little bit of space. Pass off to Ahmed. Left-hand side. Ahmed trying to run. Now over to Stockio. Now it's Bombito. Buchanan. Bombito. Now here's Buchanan on the right-hand side. Stockio with it. And I believe we have a foul. And we have the first yellow card of the match. I believe it has been issued. Yes, it's been issued to Redouane Hauhal. 23-year-old, born in Montpellier, France. Plays his club football for the Belgian club Mechelen. So he gets a book. Second foul committed by Morocco in this match. Canada have committed 6 fouls. Saibari is still down. We've played 20 minutes. Canada nil, Morocco nil. World Cup round of 16. Getting underway today in Houston with Canada versus Morocco. Seth Eaves and our entire Ultimate Sports Media crew wishing you a great July 4th, and hopefully if you're out grilling the brats, the hamburgers, hot dogs, you're cooking barbecue, whatever you're doing, maybe you have us with you. Your mobile devices, enjoying some World Cup action. Or if you're in another part of the world that doesn't celebrate the 4th of July, but still is doing some stuff, we hope you're listening to us that way too. And a reminder, if you like what you see and hear, like and subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you'll be notified of when we go on for any sporting event, not just World Cup. There's more where this come from. Morocco are going to have to make a change, and this is a big one. Ismail Saibari, their main attacking threat. He is off here, and he's going to be replaced by Sofiane Rahimi. Plays his club football in the United Arab Emirates for Al Ain. 13-time goal scorer. There's the great one, Wayne Gretzky, among those in attendance today, amongst the famous dignitaries. Can his nation pull off a stunner? Eustachio continues his great run. Say a stunner. Eustachio, oh boy, he tried to be cheeky and go for goal there. It didn't work. He tried to whip it in, and it was an easy save for Bueno in the end. 23rd minute. Go with it. Good pass. Fortalez has it. Now here comes Canada with Buchanan on the left-hand side this time. "23 minutes on the clock." Bombito, long ball. Push. Foul against Canada, against David. And this is going to lead us to the hydration break. So a hydration break in Houston. And still 0-0 between Canada and Morocco. The 2026 World Cup round of 16. As you get a live orbit look at the Houston Stadium. Matthew Owens acting as studio host, analyst, jack of all trades, master of many. Today, see if we can get Matthew in. Matthew, do you copy, or are you in a position where you cannot talk right now?
I am
Matthew
here
is here.
pressing buttons.
All right,
Not my
Matt.
not my normal. Not what I'm normally doing. Bear with me.
You're like I just said, you're a jack of all trades and master of many. Matthew, your thoughts on the first 23 minutes? Maybe I'm naive. I'm a little surprised that Canada's done more of the attacking here.
Well, yeah, I felt like honestly that everyone that I've heard from believes this to be, pretty easy. Take Morocco. I just don't see it that way. I feel like and maybe stupidly, I don't know, maybe not based on the results. I just believe in Canada. I think Canada are a good group. I think they're more talented, more skilled than they get credit for. Jesse Marsh, I absolutely love as someone that can just organize a group of players. Again, I feel like I'm just stuck off of seeing them what they did at Copa America 2 years ago, but I really do like Canada. So yeah, I like their chances today. I don't think this is just Morocco by the margin that everyone thought Argentina was going to win by last night.
All right, we'll hear from you again. Time. The hydration break is just about complete. 26th minute, about to be the 27th. Packed house at the Houston Stadium today. And of course, Matthew, I want to mention this real quick. I see you're still your mic is still hot. So this shout out to the great I'm sure you're familiar with the name Glenn Davis. Did you know he's working as a color analyst on the world feed of the Houston games?
Good for him.
Yeah, he of course is a Houston native, lives in Houston, hosts a soccer show in Houston. He's been around the sport even before the boom, if you will, and
Yeah.
he again working as a co-commentator. We call them color commentators here with Paul Walker for the World Feeds Houston games. So good that FIFA picked him up for that.
Yeah, very good. Happy about that. Um, to your point a moment ago about no attacking from Morocco, no attempts at goal yet through the first quarter of the game.
And and Saibari now out, so
Yeah.
that changes some things potentially. We'll see. Play resumes with Bono, and he will lift it up the field. Stockio heading it away. Continues to be there with Buchanan. Chip forward and El Canus with the foul there. Mike Oliver says you're guilty. Says you're guilty. He had a collision there with Alistair Johnston. Actually, thought it might have been on Johnston. No, Morocco. So Morocco now back inside of their own half. As you heard Matthew mention, no shots on goal yet for the side from Africa. CONCACAF versus CAF. The matchup here. And two of the remaining hopes to try and break a streak that is quite amazing. Of course, if you know your football, you know that the World Cup's only been won by teams from two continents, South America and Europe. Here's Morocco, though, on the edge. Here's a shot on goal from Rahimi, and Crepeau had it covered pretty easily. Maxime Crepeau, the 32-year-old from Greenfield Park in Quebec, plays in the United States for the Major League Soccer club Orlando City. Play, and whose ball is it? It's going to be, can't believe Canada's. Oh, it did take a slight deflection off to Fagerles, so maybe not as straightforward as first thought for Crepeau. So here's Johnston with a long throw in. Johnston trying to lift it in. And a foul in the build-up against Canada, and be a Morocco free kick from their own half. Approaching the half-hour mark in Houston. Go in their own half. Morocco just inside of their own half. May trying to get a good pass working here. El Canus. Morocco, of course, unbeaten in their last 33 matches. Their last loss, you had to go back to August of last year when they lost to Kenya, of all nations. Think about some of the teams they've played. Of course, they've had the AFCON. They've had these nations they played in the World Cup, such as Brazil and the Netherlands. And the last team that can say they've beaten Morocco in any competition, any sort of a match, is Kenya. Amazing. 31 minutes on the clock. Morocco still passing it in their own half. Good passing again. Eli Nowie. Trying to play it forward here. And Morocco get in front. Not quite. Nawabi is none pleased with the development. Crepeau now with the goal kick. Back to Crepeau and the Canadian goaler. Back having to reset again. 33rd minute. 0-0 here. Canada, one of 3 teams from CONCACAF to make the last 16. All 3, of course, are the 3 teams that are sharing hosting duties at this tournament. Mexico, who plays England tomorrow in what will be a souped-up rock concert at the Azteca. And the United States play on Monday in Seattle against Belgium. Meanwhile, Morocco, one of only 2 nations from Africa to make the last 16. The other being Egypt, who will play on Tuesday against Argentina. And then the rest of them, the rest of the teams, of the other 11 from that Europe and South America pool. How with it? That's a bad pass. Canada have it at the attacking half. Ahmed with a chance to attack. Left side. Ahmed gives it to Eustaquio. Eustaquio trying to chip it in. It was aimed towards Buchanan. Didn't get near enough on the header, though. Johnston tried to knot it forward as well. Canada, Seeger with it. Johnston with the throw. And Mizraoui took a big blow to the head there. He is a little bit slow to get up. 0-0 here, the 35th minute. Corner for Canada. Corner comes in, flicked around, and no one in a black shirt could get a touch. Oh, it's still alive, maybe. De Fogerles. Now foul against Canada. Free kick to Morocco. A little bit hairy there for Morocco. Go back. It's side of their own half. Mizraoui dispossessed by Buchanan. Hannon pushed down by Mizraoui. A chance for Canada to whip one into the box here. With this long throw, Johnston to take. Whips it in. Now here is Johnston, and Johnston loses out. Morocco trying to hit on the counter, maybe. Rahimi. It's all the way back to Crepo. If you're just joining us, Ismail Saibari, the starting forward for Morocco, had to be subbed off due to an injury. As Rahimi's down, and now another one of the experienced heads, Noser Mazraoui, has come off. 28-year-old, born in the Netherlands, graduate of the famed Ajax Youth Academy. Has also played for Bayern Munich and Manchester United. There are worst three clubs you could play in to start your senior club career. Well, he played for the Ajax reserve team, but after Young Ajax, there's worse clubs you could play for back to back to back than Ajax, Bayern Munich, and Manchester United. David clear that one away. Is he trying to get it there? Bawadi's in the middle of it. Another whistle. I got pushed. Now here's Morocco with a long chip ball. Crepo slightly off his line, but does get back in the penalty area so he can handle it. And Michael Oliver, whoa! And now we got some fisticuffs here. Crepo pushing Oliver, I think, got a little bit of a bump. And a lot of disagreements going on right here. It's kicking off here, and now Mr. Oliver's got a lot to sort out. Still he looks. Now Oliver sorting it out. He's going to give a booking to somebody. And no, he's having word for Larea. And he's still trying to figure out who's going to get booked here. He's talking with the respective captains. Hakimi and Estagian. It's going to be, and Hakimi's going to get a yellow. So Hakimi gets a yellow for Morocco. Now, who gets the yellow for Canada? Going to be Larea, I believe. Larea. Stacchio's pleading his case. A push there by Hakimi on Larea, and Larea said something, and Hakimi took a little umbrage with that, and that's what got the fireworks started. Oliver trying to insert himself as if he's the bouncer at a local nightclub. I think you gotta be a little bit taller and a little bigger before you could make that where you have like a bouncer, before you could pass off for a bouncer. But referee does have the same amount of rules. I guess you're a bouncer on a football pitch, so to speak. So Larea gets a yellow card, as does Hakimi, and now we can finally resume play. Now Morocco and El Canoes. El Canoes goes down. 42nd minute. Here's another long Canada ball. That's going to be too long. It's going to go back to Bueno. And Bueno will have the ball. Hands. Go, not afraid of going the distance, of course. They went to 120 and then penalties the other night in their round of 32 win against the Netherlands. I have to say, and I mentioned this during the Netherlands game about how Morocco really cannot be classified as some cute story anymore. People are acting like, that win against the Netherlands was like, oh, it's a shot because it's the Netherlands and it's a big name that got sent home early. Well, yeah, but Morocco was actually favored in the match, so this is a good Morocco side. We'll give it up. Go with Hal Hall. Trying to get through. Estachio, though, got a boot in there, and he did good. Now it's Morocco. Mazraoui. He's trying to run with it. Diaz. He gets pulled, and another yellow card. Glover puts another player in his book. It is Jonathan David. So now here is Hakimi. Hakimi trying to lift one into the penalty area. And it around. Fogerles gets it away. Good Canadian defending. Go with it. Slight touching and out of play it goes. Now yellow card here for, boy, we're getting yellow fever here at the end of this first half. Onai gets a yellow. There's a late trip there on Ahmed. What to make of this upcoming halftime team talk that these managers will give? You do wonder what will be said. We have hit 45 minutes, 6 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the first half. Morocco now on the run and trick from behind. And he goes down. Throw in Morocco, though. Just play a little pass. Another tackle. Boy, this is getting rather physical at the end of this first half. David gets the slight clip there on an eye, and Jesse March, none too pleased. He's never exactly one to hide his emotions, is he, Mr. Marsh? Bono. Al Hall. Now Bono with it. Johnston. Johnston with it again. Another push. Seeger getting involved as he pushed Hal Hall down, and Hal Hall and Seeger had a bit of a collision there. Morocco fans enjoying themselves. Somewhat, at least. Some looking rather pensive that their team have been, I think it's safe to say, second best. Waddy with it. That goes out of play. "55% possession for Morocco, though, interestingly enough. Canada, 37%, and then the invented in contest, 8%, the Mina Kimes statistic of the possession era. The Kimesification of sports statistics continue. Here is Aloisi. Now Defoe Relez. That could have been trouble for Canada. They do keep it going on this left-hand side. Larea. Now it's Eustachio. Good little chip. Can they get it there? No, they can't. Morocco with the pick. Forward they go. Oh, good move here. Maybe a chance for Morocco to do some damage. El Canoes with it. And then El Yanui has been dispossessed. El Canoes now with it for Morocco. Right-hand side. El Yanui now back to Halal. Still have about 90 seconds of stoppage time left in this opening half. Can Morocco make the most of it? Kimi with the throw in as the ball went out of play. He'll throw it in. 1-2 now back with Hakimi. The winner of this game will play either Paraguay or France. Matthew Owens will be listed in a few moments at halftime to help analyze that encounter. He'll have the call for it later this evening. And another foul, and now a yellow card. This one's going to go on El Canoes. DeFogreles, the one who went down. That was a pretty good, that was a forearm shiver right there. Six yellow cards now in this first half. 4 for Morocco and 2 for Canada. Canada set piece. Eustachio, away it goes. We've had the 6 minutes. Referee should will probably blow for halftime any minute, and he does now. And so no goals, plenty of yellow cards, but no one's found the back of the net here in Houston through 45 minutes in this first round of 16 match at this World Cup. Halftime in Houston. You see the score. Canada nil, Morocco nil. 2 seconds, Ted. I'll be right back. Say, Matthew, it's your turn to play. Matthew Waffles is again 2 seconds, 3 seconds, Ted, or whatever the saying is.
So on this July 4th, America's big 250th birthday celebration. It is a big day in world sports today, day 7 at Wimbledon. Take you through some scores from earlier today on the grass courts. Alex Ayala with a stunning victory over the reigning champion Iga Swiatek 7-6 and 6-2 as Ayala becomes the first Filipino woman to ever make the third round at Wimbledon. Then she becomes the first Filipino woman to win in the third round at Wimbledon, knocking off Swiatek, who was the number 3 seed. Also, the number 2 seed went out today. Elena Rybakina lost in straight sets to Elise Mertens, 7-6 and 6-1. Mertens scores one of her biggest victories. Also, Alexander Zverev, the Roland Garros champion, in action today. It is obviously a big day at Wimbledon as we are punching tickets into the round of the last 16. Also getting their spot in the last 16 in an all-American battle. Madison Keys dismissed last year's finalist Amanda Anisimova 6-3 in the third set. So both of last year's women's finalists are gone prior to making the fourth round. Zverev, mentioned him, the Roland Garros champion, a 3-set win today over Marcus Guerin of America. So Zverev moves through into the last 16. Marta Kostyuk with a surprising victory over Emma
I'm back.
Navarro, 6-1 in the third set. Navarro was a person that a lot of people were looking at to making a deep run. She bows out. 5-set match on court 2 was won by Flavio Cabali, beating Karen Khachanov. After Khachanov had won the first set 6-love, Cabali wins the decisive set 6-2. Also advancing today into the fourth round, the number 5 seed in the men's side, Alex de Minaur. The 13th seeded in the women's side, Jasmine Paolini. Linda Noskova won a match tiebreak over Sorana Cirstea that took over 2 hours. Marie Buskova played a match that took nearly 3.5 hours against Ludmila Samsonova 6-4 in the third. Buskova got the win. Yuri Lehechka also moved through. That's what's happened today at Wimbledon. Tomorrow, Novak Djokovic starts his day against Safuilin. Arena Sabalenka, Naomi Osaka is a fireworks match. Also, Jannik Sinner is in action. That's what's happened at Wimbledon today. This is the first of 2 World Cup games with Paraguay and France coming up later. Taking a look through some of the facts and figures from the first half. 67% possession to Morocco, Seth, but only 1 shot. It was on goal, forcing a save by Maxime Crepeau. But despite that 67% possession, if you are an XG person, XG is a useful tool as long as you use it correctly. The expected goals that Morocco generated in the first half, Seth, 0.02, despite having 2/3 of the possession.
And stats can be really silly sometimes, and that's why we must stop the over reliance on stats in sports. I just anyway. So 0-0 at the break. Thank you, Matthew, for taking care of the waffle segment. Brought to you by Visine after JTIs from last night. Boy, they are some kind of pumped up. Of course, American soccer fans outside. Is that in Seattle or is that in DC? Where is that Fox studio at?
That's in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Okay, yeah, well, that makes sense. There's a game there later today. That's where we signed the declaration. So,
Yep. It is where it is currently 97, feels like 105. Good luck to a bunch of running Paraguayans and Frenchmen today.
yeah, because again, so feels like 105, air temp 97, and it's only going to be hotter on the field.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a bit of an interesting one here. So Canada and Morocco now. Well, let's talk, Mr. Owens, about that round of 16 match you'll have later today. And I think a lot of people will point to this probably being the biggest mismatch of the round. France, the team that's been in the last two World Cup finals against Paraguay, who are in the World Cup for the first time, of course, since 2010 when they made the quarterfinals in that tournament, coming off that stunning upset of Germany. Do the South American side have another shock in them? With all due respect to Germany and their name, it's a German side that hasn't been up to par for some time. This would be a much bigger ask if they could somehow find a way to stun this French squad and send them packing. I mean, this French attack is one of the best I've ever seen at international level.
Yeah, France looks like a team that has just. They look like a team that's made the last two World Cup finals and gotten better. Um, I think this is a better version of what we saw from France in both 18 and 22. As a person that called, thank you, Charlie, for that, running into the microphone. Yeah, thanks. What's your analysis on France and Paraguay, huh? No, nothing? Okay.
I want to hear Daisy's analysis on it, actually.
No, you don't. She's sleeping right now, and you better hope it stays that way.
Okay.
um, but Paraguay, they've got the kind of game as they showed against Germany, where they can absorb a lot of possession, a lot of shot attempts, and a lot of chances. They can absorb a lot of them, stay in the game. They've got a really good goalkeeper in Hill that played extremely well, obviously, in the 120 minutes against Germany and then again in the shootout. But again, to the point that you made, Germany, who a lot of people, including myself, have said in 2014 they broke Brazil. But Brazil keeps advancing further than Germany does at these World Cups ever since 14. So I don't know what Germany had to sell
I think,
to win
I think
that
Germany
thing.
broke itself.
Yeah, I don't know what they had to sell.
Help might be coming though with JK.
Yes, well, indeed. But I mean, it's a long road from here. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Paraguay's obviously going to have to. They're going to have to play the best games of their lives, and they're going to have to defend on a level that's even beyond elite because, again, you know the name Mbappe and you know the name uh, Dembele, but there's also Elise in there. I mean, they come at you from all kinds of angles.
Due
Yeah, Desiree Doué, whew.
and Bue and Bue and Fue and Kue and Nue and Vue. I'm sure defenders think there's 23 people with that name that just are really good at attacking when they play them sometimes. But
Feels like 23 of them are out there.
that'll be the second game later today. Again, the round of 16 schedule. Again, two matches tomorrow. Brazil and Norway, and then England v Mexico. We'll talk about these a little bit later in our second broadcast later tonight of France Paraguay as that night progresses. So it's Mexico, England, and the late game tomorrow. Brazil and Norway, the early game tomorrow. Monday, the early game is a spicy one. Portugal and Spain, the Battle of Iberia, and then the United States against Belgium. And the round of 16 will conclude with a doubleheader on Tuesday, Argentina against Egypt and Switzerland against Colombia. So, unfortunately, Matthew, we're slowly but surely winding this thing down. It has been a whirlwind the last few weeks, and still 15 days left of it, so still a couple of weeks, but the matches won't be as thick and fast as they have been. So try to cherish it as best you can.
Yeah, for sure. And we certainly will because it has been just a phenomenal World Cup, and excited to have brought it to all of you folks on whatever device that you are watching and listening to us on. Obviously, this platform for us is still fairly new, all things considered. What is this month 10 of us on YouTube? So, but it's been so very
And
exciting.
that, I think, hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. So you're close.
Yeah.
Month 9's coming up because we did it We did that November game. We did that November basketball game between Louisville and Kentucky, I believe, was the first one I remember.
So it's been a lot of fun, and now we get to the business end where yes, the amount of games are less, but the quality of games, at least one would assume, uh, just takes off to another planet. But I mean, listen, I still can't get over what we saw last night, and that was supposed to be, you listen to everybody, and it was supposed to be 7-0. The only question was going to be, was Argentina going to make the extra point or not? Um, and we know how that turned out. So
I mean, just I think everybody in the sports world is still buzzing about that game.
yeah,
Uh, this is becoming. I mean, my God, Argentina, me and Matt. This is for me and Matt White. Cape Verde is about to be about getting the Devin Hester, Danica Patrick treatment. Argentina is going to get the Dan Weldon, Peyton Manning treatment. Hello, we won the game.
yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, the folks that I worked with this morning when I was on tennis, that's all they wanted to talk about was Argentina and Cape Verde. Um, it's just it really has taken the world by storm, and yeah, it really is amazing because to the point that you just made, like everybody is what no one wants to talk about Messi scoring. Messi scored a spectacular goal too, and we're kind of all like ho hum about it because it's like it kind of goes down as a second tier goal for him, even as spectacular as it was.
Well, well, I mean, and everybody's, well, the reason is because no one's made a big deal about him getting the record because he's probably going to lose it again today.
But he was
I mean,
he was the first to hit 20.
yes, the chase for the World Goal Scoring Record Cup. Oh man, Kylian Mbappe, he's going to need more than just one goal now.
Every game he scored in this tournament, he scored twice.
Again, Matt White said it best in our chat after the 22 final. Messi versus Ronaldo, and here's Mbappe on his way to passing them both.
Yep. Yep.
Of course, we'll have all the World Cup matches for you. There are other non-World Cup events that we will have for you coming up. Again, plenty of Wimbledon coverage as the championships rolls along from the All England Club. Probably a good thing for the All England Club that that England Mexico game is taking place when it is, because
I mean, think about what we got tomorrow. We got Wimbledon, we've got the British Grand Prix, we got England and Mexico. My goodness.
that's right. Of course, we our friends at JBM will have that for you. The F1 NASCAR back on our airways tomorrow. The return to Chicagoland Speedway for the Cup Series. The Euro 400. IndyCar tomorrow as well from Mid Ohio. I believe that's just a JBM production because of all the stuff we have. But
yes.
but plenty of things going around. We're going to have a lot more racing coming up in the summer, and then, I was out in New York with a great grandfather, relative of mine, great grandfather yesterday was out there, and he was telling me it won't be too much longer before football comes back. I said, you're right about that, and it won't be too much longer before we get football back in our lives. Of course, we'll have the college football season starting in September. Definitely going to be having Clemson at Louisiana State. Nothing happened to LSU in the offseason worth talking about. And then, not confirmed, but looking possibly like we're going to have a lead-in of that of Boise State at Oregon. Bronco, it's new Pac-12 meets old Pac-12. Boise in that new 12 and Oregon, of course. A lot of people think they're ready to make another championship run with Dan Lanning as their head coach. And maybe a game or two extra gets added by some of our other colleagues, who knows. And then the NFL season, which remember starts on a Wednesday night this year with a Super Bowl rematch. Patriots versus Seahawks, then 49ers Rams in Australia. Going to be quite the scene. And of course, plenty of more matches. That second college football Saturday. What a day night doubleheader. Oklahoma, Michigan, and Ohio State, Texas. And then week 3, maybe you've heard about this. LSU's going to Ole Miss. I hear that's a big deal for some reason. Matthew's only given up a chase race at Bristol for it. That's that's all. All right, Matthew. Any quick thoughts on the second half before we get back going here?
I hear that NBC might be moving Seahawks and Patriots because of possible thunderstorms from that Wednesday. Um,
Good,
let's
good. Well, what kind of meteorologist has that radar? They got one hell of a radar.
let's see how physical this second half gets, because the first half was very, very tough and rough. See what we get in the second half here.
All right, Matthew, we'll hear from you at the end of the 90 one way or another. I say end of the 90 because the end of the 90 might not be the end of the game. You just never know. You see the score, you see the reset screen. Thankfully for many, you do not see my ugly mug on camera. It's Canada and Morocco ready to resume in the round of 16, second half. The first ticket to the quarterfinals to be punched here by the winner of this game. Morocco trying to make it to at least the quarters for the second straight World Cup. Canada trying to build upon their furthest ever advancement in a World Cup. Morocco get us underway here to start the half. 45:09 on the clock, actually. Morocco has it, so there you go. You are absolutely welcome, as Morocco is on the ball here. Morocco going from left to right of the second half in the white shirts, while Canada go right to left in the black. And here's a ball, and it's going to be pushed away by Forgales, who provides defensive cover for Canada. Now the clock has jumped back towards 2 seconds ahead again. It's not the end of the world, though, I don't think. We'll see. Maybe it is for Matthew, though. That's right. Stop being selfish, Seth. But anyway, here is Forgales for Canada. No halftime substitutions were made. Canada stays in that 4-4-2. Here is Ashraf Hakimi on the right-hand side. Hakimi working it on the right-hand side. Hakimi, and Laria pushes it away. It's going to be a throw-in for Morocco. And good start to the second half for Morocco, who, as Matthew told you, had a lot of the possession, but did not have anything from a shot perspective. Just the one shot. Hakimi's cross blocked. It will be a throw-in. El Ainawi. Now here comes Morocco. Again, a combined 21 fouls and 6 yellow cards in the first half, to the point Matthew was making about physicality. That's rather lazy. Here's Canada in with Oloisi. Oloisi still, and it was just covered defensively there, and Eustaquio is wanting a foul or something. He is incensed with Michael Oliver at the moment. Oh, I think it might have been an offside on Oloisi, might be what the call was. No, it wasn't. He looked a little bit offside there on the replay we saw. Here is Eustaquio with the corner. Ahmed. Now to Laria. Good little chip into the box. DeFogel with the touch. DeFogel with the touch, and it drifts over the bar. So now here come Morocco on the right-hand side. Good running here, and Rahimi goes down on the right-hand side. That's a yellow card. Another yellow card, and DeFogel with the committing of the foul, and now Morocco are going to have a pretty dangerous set-piece opportunity here as down went Rahimi. The challenger to Fogerles. 22 fouls, 7 yellow cards now the count combined if you are keeping score at home or even if you're alone. Free kick to be taken by Morocco's Ashraf Hakimi. Hakimi, they're going with the training ground technique. Oh, it works to perfection! Beautiful goal! Oh, right out of the training ground and right into the World Cup spotlight. Azzedine Anoui. Jackrabbit start to the second half for Morocco. Hakimi, instead of crossing it in, just played it short. Let Anai have a curling shot. Crapo helpless. 1-0 Morocco. What a sweet hit of the football that was. Pick that out. Crapo just could not reach. And now we've got an interesting game on our hands because Canada had more of the shots and posed an attacking threat. And now they're going to have to go for it. As Morocco have started quickly in this second half and now lead by a 1-0. 10th international goal for Onai. Now a throw in here for Morocco. Morocco, 6 wins, 3 draws, and 1 loss when they score first in World Cups. The only time they lost with scoring first go all the way back to 1970 when they lost to West Germany. It's been a minute. America was not even 200 yet. Now it's 250. Right-hand side, Morocco on the run, or Canada on the run, into the penalty area, trying to hit back, couldn't do it. Laria heading it forward. Now it's Morocco running forward with Ashraf Hakimi, and now Hakimi with a lot of space. Hakimi goes down. Now Canada trying to push forward. Laria pushing forward and Lottie getting in the way. Canada winless in 6 World Cup matches in which they concede first. 5 losses and a draw. Hakimi. Pass here for Morocco. Hakimi with it. And now Morocco just keep it inside their own half. 1-0 they lead. And string it back to Bono. Now he lost out to Laria. Now Oluwasi. Oluwasi with his cross. It was deflected. Hakimi. And now Morocco with a run. All space here. Good ball forward. Rahimi's going to try and get on the end of this one. Rahimi. The cross ends up, tried to cross it, and was blocked behind for a corner by Bombito. Six corners for Canada. Morocco with its first corner of this match. So Ashraf Hakimi set to take it here for Morocco. Hakimi short corner. Hakimi now floats one in. Al Hall. Jesse Marsh now casting a very frustrated figure on that Canadian touchline. Tried to slide that one in. It was Johnston. Now it goes to Laria. Laria with a throw in here. Did the Fogerles. Bombito. Out to Johnston, and that was rather lazy touch from Johnston. Morocco tried to break. A bit too much weight on the pass. And Bombito. Now it's Ahmed trying to string it forward. Larietta Oluwasi. Fogerles the header. Seeker trying to slice it back goalwards. Bono able to just boot it away to a safe place. Hakimi got a touch on it. Hakimi trying to get involved, but a push and another foul as Hakimi was trying to desperately regain possession of the ball. Penny for your thoughts, Gianni. Here's Ahmed on the left-hand side. Morocco 55% possession, 35 for Canada, 10 in contest. Again, when you tell us what when you tell us what the definition is of in contest, we'll give you props. I can't say we're going to pay you because that'd be what we call a lie. But we'll give you props if you can't explain it. Canada do have a corner though, so let's take a look and see how this works for them. Stockio to take. That's high. There is a touch on it. The Fogerles got it, but Law's going to slice it away. It's going to be a Canadian throw-in. Corner. And headed away. Canada to keep possession. Chipped away only as far as Eustachio. Now it is Bombito. Approaching the hour mark. Still 1-0 in favor of Morocco. Eustachio trying to get. Oh, he was pushed from behind. Canada wants a penalty, none given. They got a Morocco player down away from the play as well, so we got a bit of a mess at the moment. Buchanan gets pushed. So now the referee's having another discussion here. He's pointing towards something else. There is Morocco. Canada pushed forward now to Fogerles, and Canada have it briefly. Then they lost possession. Valeria. Not very good. Back. That was about. But anyway, now we're gone. Now here is the Fogerles with it now for Canada. Valeria with it now just inside of his own half. Now Canada with it again. Cannon. Boy, this is a real, and this has been a real kind of a street fight type of game. Lucy now showing some frustration. Now Morocco are going to make another couple changes here. Looks like it's going to be Stofian Amrabat and Chimsden Talby are set to come on, and let's see who will come off. Bawadi is going to be one of the men withdrawn. And waiting for formation, and El Canoes is the other one who makes way. So Talby, who plays for Sunderland, Amrabat, who plays for Real Betis, who has been a bit of a journeyman, if you will. So Amrabat now comes in. 1-0 Morocco. We're in the 63rd minute. Good ball. Now, maybe a chance. Morocco's. He trying to get there. Oh, too much weight on the pass. Too much weight on the pass. That could have been something. Remember, here's a cross coming in and going to be sliced away. Only just, though. Diaz. Diaz still. Back. Nice little chip here on the right-hand side for Morocco. Here's Brahim Diaz trying to play it in, and it was blocked. Canadian shirts again getting in the way. Desperate defending here. I know that it would be less than ideal for them to concede a second goal. 65th minute. Morocco still have it here with Ashraf Hakimi. Now Morocco win possession. Diaz, good ball. Rahimi, can he get on to it? No. No foul either. Morocco wanted a foul. But again, they will not get it. Now here is Ahmed for Canada. Now, Laria. Does Canada have something? Laria overran it. Play. Oliver. Now trying to again restore a little bit of order here. Again, the world feed showing us some of the other analytical and technological dealings of the goal from an eye who has given Morocco the 1-0 lead and has given them, as it stands, a passage to the quarterfinals. Going all the way back. Oh boy, Bono has really got himself in a mess there. Digger. Now, David. And the Stuckey try to get there. Couldn't. Oh boy, no danger. And then Bono gets tripped by a Canadian player and an immediate yellow card for a Canadian sub that we apparently missed. We missed Sile Laren coming in. Who he came in for is unbeknownst to me. I swear I did not see that. But Laren's on, and he was in, and he pushes Bono. Laren, who plays for Southampton. Less said about their current state, the better. Is the yellow? All I know is the yellow card. You could say he was trying to spy on the goalkeeper when making that challenge. We hit the hydration break in Houston, where it is still 1-0 to Morocco. All right, I lied. I said originally that I was going to wait till 90 to bring Matthew on, but I need someone to bounce off of on the hydration break. And Big Mo, all it takes is one, and boy, was that not a beautifully worked goal off the training ground by Morocco there.
Yeah, it's a heck of a goal, no doubt about that. Um, Not really anything you can do if you're Canada. Uh, as far as expecting that to be rolled out, but yeah, it's now a lot to do. A lot to do for a Canada team that came from behind to get a draw in their opening match against Bosnia, but has not come from behind to win in this tournament.
Yeah. Obviously, they brought Laren on, so I mean, it's all or nothing. You got to bring on as many big guns as you possibly can now. So,
Yeah,
well,
I mean, you've got you've got some guys that can score goals on this team and on this field, and we saw. And it. Speaking of that opening game against Bosnia, it was Kyle Larin that got the goal off the bench. Thank you. You wanted to hear from Daisy. You heard from Daisy. Um, so, but he's obviously a big substitute to bring on to see if you can turn this around.
we shall see if they do indeed do that. Morocco, though, they were showing signs of wanting to go on the attack themselves.
Oh yeah, they're not going to just hunker down and you know park the bus for 1-0. They're going to keep playing and see what that gets them.
All right, we'll hear from you in just a little bit, Matthew, as we approach the final 20 minutes plus stoppage time of this first round of 16 encounter. It is Morocco leading Canada by a goal to nil. High drama indeed in Houston. Canada with a slight edge in the expected goals department, but where it counts, it's 1-0 to the Rockin' Moroccans, if you will. They again are just moments away from restarting this match. It's like that's Adrian Peterson in the stands. Former great running back, Oklahoma Sooner and NFL standout. Enjoying some World Cup action. 1-0 Morocco as the clock's about to hit 71. There is Estancios there, and Jesse March now trying to work on tactics. Trying to work and find something. Trying to get Canada an equalizing goal. In there now, here is Kimi Morocco just doing patiently, just doing their business. Now back it goes to Crepo. Okay. Oh my goodness. Away from the ball to Fogerles with a wild challenge on one of the Moroccan players. That was a mess. In Canada. No, it's Morocco. It's ball right hand side, and DeFogerles will clear it back towards Crepo. Morocco now 28 all-time goals at the World Cup, the most by an African team. Trying to fiddle and fidget around. Layering over down to Estacchio. Now back to Crapo. Chip ball here. That's dangerous by Morocco. Boy, Morocco playing with fire here defensively. Need to be careful with that. Again, if you're into the world rankings, a 23 spot difference. Morocco 7th against Canada, who's ranked 30th. Here's Laren now for Canada. Side of Stacchio with it. 12 come from behind wins in this World Cup. 4 in the round of 32. Side and Cannon there. Here is the corner, or the cross for Canada. Delta way, still not clear. Laurier is in. Bono with a punch. Still fiddling and fidgeting into that area. Ahmed defended well yet again. Still not all the way clear, though. Canada still have it. Here is Eustachio. Eustachio. Foul. Free kick right on the edge of the box for Canada. Oh, my goodness. As the clock's about to hit 76, we're about to have some drama here. My heavens. Who's going to take this free kick? And uh-oh, now some disagreeing. Anaya Segura is the excuse me, physical nature of this one continues. So now who's going to take this kick? Will it be Ahmed or David? Ahmed or David? Morocco with the wall set up. Here it comes. Going for the little chip, and it was just over from David. It was a good idea. He didn't quite have enough whip on it. Couldn't keep it down. Goal kick, Morocco. Chance gone for Canada. Again, not a bad idea there. Just kind of lofted over, but just was never going to work out. Looks like Canada has made a couple more changes. Ottman and Laria, their days are done. And let's see who they bring on here. They bring on Jacob Schaffelberg and Promise David. David Promise. Schaffelberg from LAFC in MLS. David plays, at least this past year, plays in the Belgian League for Union St. Gilloise. And there's a shot from distance at Bono. That full stretch makes the save. Corner Canada. Schaffelberg from Kentville, Nova Scotia. Also has played for Nashville SC, just to finish some things off there. Corner kick. Here it comes for Canada. Big moment this. And headed away at the near post by Morocco. Another long ball lifted in and headed, but not really headed with enough weight by Promises. As Rally is in a little bit of discomfort. A shot from Buchanan, though, a minute ago, watching again. Bono had to be at a full stretch. Jesse Marsh looking on. Sakio trying to chip it forward. 22 game-winning or tying goals in the 80th minute or later at this World Cup. Just something to keep in mind. Here's the chip. Oh, David. First touch, chipped in. Headed away, Elianui. Now Morocco have to pretty much mill in retreat here a little bit. Now Morocco pushing forward here, trying to hit on the counterattack after a bad play, and now they got space here, Morocco. Here's a chance. Brahim Diaz wasted it. He gives it up, though, and Morocco have their second. It's Unai again. It's a Moroccan smash and grab. And that might bring the end of the party for Canada. In the blink of an eye, Morocco went from sitting in their shell to going forward. One shot, bang, 2-0. And the quarterfinals look to beckon yet again for the Atlas Lions. Wow. No, I just taking the plaudits. I mean, this is a really good run here by Morocco. It's Diaz who did the running, and actually, I thought he was going to shoot it. I think he was, but it took a slight deflection, and Onai with a Christmas present. Look what I found. Happy birthday to me. 2-0 Morocco. And that might just be that. I say might. With this World Cup, you can't say it is for sure. You have to use the word might. More pushing as Canada have a free kick. A 9 now with 11 goals for his career and 2 today. Here's Jonathan David trying to get one back for Canada. His shot blocked, though. Cross comes in, and Staffelberg's cross is easily saved by Bono. So now here come Canada. 85th minute. Cross comes in, and Bono's going to claim it. And now Morocco on the run, and he's on a hat trick. They couldn't score again, could they, Morocco? Oh, it's a really good header! That's off the bar and out! Rahimi! My goodness! Now here is David keeping it alive. Buchanan end to end here, and Morocco hits it away. It'll be a corner kick for Canada. Crosses. The corner is dealt with pretty well by Morocco. Canada do get it back, though, but well away from where they wanted it to be. Now here is David. Another little chip. Comes all the way back here. Laria's out. '86th minute now. Will there be another cross in here for Canada? Perhaps. You're trying to one in, and a foul here as down goes David. And this has been a golden generation-ish for Canada. Made that first World Cup. Had the great Copa America run that Matthew referenced way back in the first half. And now this historic World Cup. But it's looking like it's going to end. Morocco are going to bring two more subs on here. Marwan Sadan and Samir El Morabat. And Buchanan and Seeger have come off the last two rolls of the dice from Jesse March. Onai, the man who scored both the goals, and Diop. That's the two coming off for Morocco. Let's see who the two coming off for Canada are. Or coming on. We just told you he's coming off. Here's a chip. Bono a punch and a collision with Promise. And I thought I saw, maybe they were just walking on the touchline. Okay, maybe so one player was sub, so. And now more collision, and make sure if you're Morocco not to get set off at this rate. Oh, so now Buchanan and Seeger have come off. Osorio and Nelson, the two that are coming on. We get the notification now. Jonathan Osorio of Toronto FC and Jaden Nelson, who plays for Austin FC. Morocco, though, very much on their way to a date with either France or Paraguay. Morocco fans enjoying themselves as the last 8 looks to be beckoning. There. Morocco on the verge of becoming the first African team to reach consecutive quarterfinals in a World Cup. Quite amazing. Here is Osorio. Quick free kick. Stacchio now takes it. Or he's going to take it. Here is a chip. Where will it drop? Osorio, and it was a good block. Coming in and flicked. Again, Morocco do well. 8 minutes, by the way. We just got that word. 8 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the first half. Or end of the first half. End of the second half. Whoa, Seth. We're almost. Don't scare the Moroccan fans. There have been 26 goals in second half stoppage time. 27 if you include the second half of extra time. Foul against Canada, and Morocco with the free kick. Again, they will no doubt take their time with this one. So Morocco now with it is Rahimi, and he'll just take it to the corner flag, and he into Forgales. In a battle of Sorio trying to keep it alive. It will be possession Canada. Michael Oliver again saying don't do that, and just trying to take charge the best he can. Canada with it again. David in the area. David gets bumped, and Marco again just being oh so strong and resolute defensively. Now here is Borgelez as Canada just continue to go around. Now skipping way Nelson. We've played 2.5 of the 8 minutes of stoppage time. Here is the corner. Here's the cross. Flicked in. Crapo, the goalkeeper, was up actually on that. And was chipped back in by David, and not there. Now Crapo's got to run back to his goal line just to make sure he doesn't get beat. Again, Paraguay and France coming up later today. Kylian Mbappe in search of another goal and another lightning performance at a World Cup. He would have to bank on them getting it, but again, Can you really bank on anything at this World Cup the way it's gone? Trying to get away. Back to Crapo. Nearly halfway through the 8 minutes of stoppage time. Morocco can sense it. Play, throw in, Morocco. Now Canada back with it. Here is Schaffelberg. He thinks there's a handball. He's going to get a corner, but he's not going to get a handball call. Nye overcome with emotion and just a breath of relief. There. Crapo was up again. He tried to get his head onto it. Couldn't do it though. Down to Fourgalès with the throw in. A little less than 3 minutes for Canada to find two. But Morocco just, again, you just can't help but be amazed at how compact and how solid they are defensively. And now, Schaffelberg fouled. Canada will have a free kick. Here it comes. Nelson's over it, as is Eustachio. Going for a train ground technique of their own. Nelson's shot deflected. Comes to Schaffelberg. He whips it across. Fourgalès tries to hook it goalwards. Play it goes. Goal kick Morocco, and that might have been the last small chance that Morocco or that Canada had in this one. Now another foul here as Rahimi goes down. So now Morocco with this free kick. A game that has now seen a combined 38 fouls, 24 for Canada and 14 for Morocco. A long ball out of play. Into the final 35 seconds. And Morocco pushing forward. They might get a third, and they are going to get a third. Icing on top the cake. Soufan Rahimi. The party can begin as Morocco will advance into the quarterfinals of the World Cup. 3-0. They have brushed Canada away with a smash and grab technique in this second half. And Jesse March will be searching the next few days, wondering what the number of that truck was. Talk about making great use of the chances that you can get. Came right towards the end of stoppage time. Just good passing, and that's a really cool finish by Rahimi. 3 in the second half. And Morocco showing everybody else that, hey, we're still here and you're going to have to deal with us one way or another. And disappointment and frustration for Canada, a group of players that did their nation proud. But the final whistle is gone, and Morocco are the first team to punch their ticket into the World Cup's version of the Elite Eight as they blow Canada away with 3 smash and grab goals. Matthew Owens in the second half, 2 from Unai, 1 from Rahimi. Blistering fast, and Canada didn't have an answer.
Yeah, 3 really terrific goals. And on they go, the Atlas Lions again into the quarterfinals. You can't really come away with this saying that Canada was completely outmuscled and outskilled and outplayed. Just Morocco, you mentioned it towards the end, taking advantage of the opportunities that were provided. They did. Canada didn't. Um, again, I, I just sometimes I get obsessed with the expected goals because I just want to know how they come up with it. I want to know who is it sitting at a computer coming up with this, because Canada has ended this game with more XG, but they've lost it 3-0. It's Is this becoming the standard for Moroccan football? Apparently, it is.
I would say so. I mean, carrying the flag for Africa. I just told you. I mentioned a couple of the milestones that make them best in the continent. More World Cup goals than any other African nation, and the first African nation to reach the quarterfinals in successive World Cups, or 2 different World Cups. So they will party in Casablanca and get set either for Paraguay or the team that knocked them out in the semis
Yeah.
4 years ago, France. It'll be a challenge, but great celebrations, and what a story they've been, Morocco, in these last 2 World Cups. And for Canada, not much to be ashamed of. I mean, they had a historic run, but it ends here.
Yeah, far from anything to be ashamed of. They were terrific, terrific co-hosts. They hosted the Women's World Cup in 2015. That was a smashing success. And what atmospheres we've had in Toronto and Vancouver and in watch parties across Canada. I've thoroughly enjoyed Canada, the country's involvement in this World Cup, and I've thoroughly enjoyed Canada's national team's involvement of this World Cup. They have been a very good co-host and a very good team to watch grow, because again, and this is what makes this sport so tough. You can play well, you can play really well, but then of course you start pushing last 10, 15, 20 minutes and the scoreline can look worse on it than it should. That's how I viewed their 2-0 loss to Argentina in the semifinals of the last Copa America. That's how I view this result today. But still, successful World Cup for Jesse Marsh in Canada. And, I mean, if Jesse Marsh is still around in 2030 as the Canadian coach, a number of these players will be. And we'll see what they can do across however many nations are hosting 2030.
Morocco will be one of the 3 hosts, along with Spain and Portugal. So, to your point about the gold standard, I'd say they're on a good bit of momentum heading into that 2030 World Cup. They're going to be try hosting.
Yes, and of course, remember, Uruguay gets a piece of that hosting
And
job,
Paraguay, too, I believe.
Paraguay, yeah. Yeah, I think it turns into like 5 countries, but the Uruguay and
Yeah,
Paraguay is only because it's the centennial. But anyway, we'll get all that down in 4 years.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. All right, Matthew, you got a game to get ready for, and we'll have it for you in about a couple hours. Paraguay and France, but the first round of 16 match in the books, and it's the Atlas Lions. Hear them roar! They're in the quarterfinals again. They've beaten Canada and Houston by 3-0. For Matthew Owens, JT, and everyone else, the Ultimate Sports Media crew, I'm Seth Eaves. So long, and we will talk to you next time.